Is peace in Gaza actually within reach, or is it just a fleeting illusion? Vice President Vance's recent visit to Israel suggests cautious optimism, declaring the Gaza ceasefire to be in a very good place, despite a weekend marred by violence. But here's where it gets controversial. Can a fragile ceasefire truly pave the way for lasting stability, especially with accusations flying and deep-seated mistrust on both sides? Vance's visit, occurring at a critical juncture, aimed to solidify the ceasefire agreement brokered earlier this month. Let's delve into the key takeaways from his trip. 1. A call for divine intervention. Vance concluded his remarks with a heartfelt plea, urging Christians to pray for peace in the region. He expressed his intention to visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, a site of immense significance for Christians, as the place where Jesus was believed to be crucified. Vance emphasized Jesus' title as the Prince of Peace and implored people of all faiths, particularly Christians, to pray for a miracle in the region. He acknowledged the progress made in the past week, but stressed the need for further strides, expressing confidence in achieving success with divine providence and a dedicated team. 2. The U.S. as the sole mediator. When questioned about the international security force, Vance confirmed that Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, both envoys for former President Trump, are actively working on its formation. While clarifying that there would be no American boots on the ground in Gaza, he emphasized the U.S.'s role in providing crucial coordination between participating nations. Vance firmly stated, the only real mediator is the U.S. 3. The uncertain future of Gaza's leadership. Addressing the question of Gaza's ultimate leadership structure, Vance admitted, I don't know. However, he highlighted the ongoing efforts to establish a very flexible governance structure adaptable to future developments. Vance emphasized the paramount importance of stability and security for both Palestinians in Gaza and Israelis. Once this stability is achieved, he stated, attention will shift towards the long-term governance of Gaza, with immediate priorities focused on providing essential food and medicine. 4. No funds for Hamas-controlled areas. Jared Kushner reiterated the firm stance that no reconstruction funds will be allocated to areas under Hamas control. He mentioned that consideration is being given to initiating reconstruction in areas controlled by the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, envisioning a new Gaza where people can live and get jobs. This raises a significant question. How can reconstruction be effectively implemented while ensuring that aid reaches those who need it most without inadvertently strengthening Hamas's grip on power? 5. No deadline for Hamas disarmament. Vance addressed the crucial issue of Hamas's disarmament, expressing confidence that the peace will hold and that disarmament is an integral part of the 20-point peace plan agreed upon by Hamas and Israel. He also quoted Trump's warning that Hamas would be obliterated if they failed to disarm. While refraining from setting a specific deadline for disarmament, Vance emphasized the importance of establishing an international security force to ensure Gaza's safety. And this is the part most people miss. Disarmament is rarely a quick and easy process, and often requires robust international oversight and guarantees to be successful. What happens if disarmament stalls? What are the contingency plans then? 6. The painful process of hostage recovery. Vance acknowledged the immense difficulties surrounding the return of the remains of deceased Israeli hostages. He recognized the importance of returning the bodies to their families for proper burial, but cautioned that this is not going to happen overnight. He explained that some hostages are buried under tons of rubble, while the location of others remains unknown. Despite these challenges, Vance affirmed the commitment to continue the search and expressed confidence in eventually finding the remains, while urging patience. 7. A critical moment for the deal. Middle East correspondent Lucy Williamson reported from southern Israel, where the U.S. has established a new coordination center to oversee the next steps in the peace deal. She emphasized that Vance's visit comes at a pivotal moment, with the initial phase largely completed. The return of 33 hostages, living and deceased, and the release of over 2,000 Palestinian prisoners or their remains. However, Williamson highlighted the significant challenges ahead, as both Israel and Hamas grapple with relinquishing control over Gaza while attempting to maintain their respective power. 8. Optimism amidst uncertainty. When questioned about the likelihood of the ceasefire holding, Vance expressed great optimism based on the events of the past week. He acknowledged that there will be moments of difficulty requiring mediation, supervision, and monitoring. While unable to guarantee 100% success, Vance emphasized the importance of trying, even when the outcome is uncertain. This raises a critical point. Is optimism enough to overcome the deeply entrenched obstacles to peace? Or are more concrete measures needed to ensure the ceasefire's longevity? 9. A role for Turkey. Vance acknowledged a constructive role for Turkey in the peace process, despite past accusations of supporting Hamas. He suggested that Turkey could contribute financially, through construction efforts, or through communication initiatives. This is a potentially controversial point, as some view Turkey's involvement with suspicion, while others see it as a necessary component of a broader regional solution. Is engaging with all regional players, even those with complex relationships, essential for achieving lasting peace? 10. A shared belief in a better Gaza. Jared Kushner highlighted the strong coordination between participating countries, including the UK, Canada, and Germany, emphasizing the shared belief that it is possible to create something better in Gaza. He expressed optimism that a great outcome is possible through collaborative efforts. 11. UN-Israel coordination on aid. Kushner emphasized the strong coordination between the UN and Israel in ensuring that aid reaches the people of Gaza and does not fall into the wrong hands. He also acknowledged concerns about various incursions, but stated that both sides are working to de-escalate tensions. 12. Meeting with hostages and families. Steve Witkoff described his moving experience meeting with Israeli hostages and their families, emphasizing their strength and resilience in the face of adversity. 13. A model for future conflicts. Witkoff stated that the Civilian Military Cooperation Center, CMCC, will serve as a model for resolving other conflicts, helping to go from war to peace. 14. Criticism of media coverage. Vance criticized what he perceived as a weird attitude in American and Western media, characterized by a desire to root for failure and an inclination to declare the ceasefire over at every sign of trouble. Do you agree with Vance's assessment of media coverage? Is there a tendency to focus on the negative aspects of the situation, or is critical reporting essential for holding all parties accountable? 15. Announcing the Gaza Rebuilding Center. Vance announced the opening of the Civilian Military Cooperation Center to begin the process of rebuilding Gaza, thanking the Israeli government and other partners for their collaboration. 16. The scale of the task. The destruction in Gaza is immense, with estimates suggesting that 84% of the Strip is damaged, reaching as high as 92% in certain areas like Gaza City. Clearing over 60 million tons of debris is a monumental task that must precede any reconstruction efforts. 17. Weekend violence shakes ceasefire. Violence flared up on Sunday, raising concerns about the ceasefire's stability. Israel accused Hamas of an attack that killed 2 Israeli soldiers, prompting Israeli airstrikes that resulted in the deaths of at least 45 Palestinians. Both sides have reaffirmed their commitment to the ceasefire, but the incident underscores the fragility of the agreement. 18. Ceasefire progress so far. Since taking effect on October 10th, the ceasefire has resulted in the return of 20 living Israeli hostages in exchange for 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. Hamas has also handed over the remains of 13 hostages, with approximately 15 remains still to be returned. Israel has partially withdrawn its military from Gaza, and humanitarian aid has been allowed into the territory. 19. Vance's mission. Vance's visit to Israel is part of the Trump administration's efforts to strengthen the Gaza ceasefire agreement and push for negotiations on long-term issues for a permanent end to the conflict. He met with senior U.S. officials, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, shortly after arriving. So what are your thoughts? Is this ceasefire a genuine step towards peace, or just a temporary reprieve from a deeper conflict? Can lasting stability be achieved in Gaza? And what role should the international community play in making it happen? Share your opinions and insights in the comments below.